as soon as we switched over to cardiac, notice how our little indicator switched sides, right? And that has to do with how sonographers do cardiac assessments and how it looks. So when we're talking about doing, so when we start scanning each other in the actual scanning stations, what we'll do is we'll put up on the screen those images that are in that lecture series, so we can kind of talk about like probe orientation and such. But now this little nubbin, when we're gonna, now remember the heart kind of sits in there angled, right? It doesn't sit straight up and down. So we're gonna try to find our cardiac window. So we're gonna be parasternal off to the left-hand side. I'm gonna take our little indicator, point it up towards his right shoulder. When we're up towards the right shoulder, this is gonna get us into a parasternal long axis view. Window there.
It's taking so long.
Right. All right, so now we got our parasternal long axis. There we go. So now in the bottom right-hand corner, we can see that mitral valve opening and closing. See if I can put it a little bit more in the center of our screen. All right, so we have left atria, left ventricle. See much of your right ventricle over there. You see mitral valve opening and closing. You see the left ventricular outflow tract right there. That's your view that you have for the parasternal long axis. Parasternal short axis is going to be in the exact same position we are here, except we're going to change the indicator over to the left. So as we move that indicator over to the left, now we're taking cross-sectional slices through the heart, right? And so depending on what section of the heart we want to look at, so take a big deep breath in. Blow it out. Notice how we lose this lung field as that lung kind of goes in between the chest wall. Go all the way out and hold end expiration. Boom. Now we can actually see it a little bit better, right? So that's the fish mouth view. We're looking through the mitral valve. If I come up, there we're looking through the aortic valve. And if I go all the way down, we're going to see that papillary muscle view. Kind of half seated. So what could we do? So since we have a technically challenging study, right? How many times have you all read that, right? Technically challenging study because we're only seeing half of the heart because the lung is occluding our view. What can we do to improve our view? Turn him, which side? All the way up to his left. Go ahead and turn up all the way to your left and scooch back towards the right? No. Off to HR I go. Right? So now notice how much clearer that looks, right? So we've moved the heart up against the anterior chest wall, and we got a lot of that lung out of the way. So now we can come all the way down. We can look at that papillary muscle view. You can see good concentric motion of the heart. We're going to slide up until we see that fish mouth view, opening and closing of your mitral valve, and aiming up towards the top of the heart. We're looking at that aortic. Right? So now we want to try to get that 4-chamber view. So we're going to come down on the heart a little bit more. There's our apical 4-chamber view. Now you get to see all 4 chambers at once. All right, go ahead and lay back on your back. So the sub-xiphoid 4-chamber view. Bring your knees up. Yeah. So we want to take some of the tension out of his abdomen. Now we're going to use the liver as the acoustic window to be able to see up to the heart, right? Because you can't see through air, which your bowel has a lot of air in it. Everybody's bowel has a lot of air in it, not him specifically. There's our apical 4-chamber view. This is the one view that's on the FAST exams, right? Because you can really see the global function of the heart. The biggest thing that they're doing for in a FAST exam, right, like a trauma view, is they want to see if they see fluid around that heart, right? So they're looking for pericardial effusion, all the way up to tamponade, and including like if you're talking trauma, you could have blood in there as well, just not clear fluid, right? So now we're going to